Hey folks, welcome back. It is 7:15 in the AM. Still with us here on the C Morning Show, and we're just about ready to jump into our first discussion of the morning. And you, of course, will remember that just a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated the 79th Indonesian Independence Weekend, and the spirit of independence continues to linger as our country is ready to welcome Golden Indonesia or Indonesia Emas 2045.
Wow, I can't wait to have that goal. I mean,
That's
the
not
gold
gold,
generations. So, Paul, the question is, how can we prepare for the next generation to be part of Indonesian Emas or Indonesian Gold Generation 2045, especially when it comes to financial health? Joining us in the studio today is certified financial planner from Finansialku. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
thank you
Welcome
for
to the show.
coming. Yes. So, as Paul mentioned, that we are approaching 2045. Wow, how many more years?
That's 20 years. A little bit
Oh,
over 20
okay,
years.
okay. Hopefully, we still have time.
2 decades.
2 decades. So, we want to see or hear from you. What are the biggest financial management issues that face today by young generation, and that probably could impact to the future of a generation?
Okay, there's a lot of financial management issue currently, like middle class pressure, yeah, and then other high unemployment rates, and then also the financial literacy. We have to keep it up. We
Yes.
already achieved good in 65%, better than previous years, but we have to keep it up compared to our Southeast Asian countries like Singapore. And also we have to like homeworks in the online gambling, and then online debt. Yeah, we have like so many issues, especially in the financial the middle class.
Okay, what is middle class pressure, by the way?
Yeah, so many. Their income is like quite stable this year,
okay.
but there's so many financial expenses increases. Like
I see,
the
like
space.
balancing their debits and credits.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And-
that's classified as a middle class.
Yeah, and also Indonesia, we have like culture, like consumer culture.
Yes.
We tend to absorb everything in social media, high influencer, lifestyle, maybe offering money scam. So we have to be equipped by good financial literacy.
And it seems like, for me, especially the working class, it's so easy to spend money these days.
Yeah.
You want to buy something, you could just go online.
scroll.
Shafir and I know all about it. We're waiting for the 0909 sale coming next month.
Twin numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like everything, and if you don't have the money yet, well, you can just borrow. There's all of these pay later schemes as well. So again, it puts the younger generation in this position where it's easier for them to spend and easier for them to have credit as well.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the financial system itself for Indonesia. Do you think Indonesia's financial system, what weaknesses do you see in our financial system that could affect our everyday people's financial health?
I would emphasize on financial literacy.
Okay.
People in our generation starting late to learn about financial literacy, right?
When you say financial literacy, is it keeping up with all the latest technologies and things like that?
Yeah, financial literacy in the financial inclusive,
Okay.
and also financial literacy in the education,
Okay.
the knowledge, the skill.
Yeah.
Especially people in Indonesia most likely tend to single income.
Okay.
So by the financial literacy, we can improve our earning abilities to earning income, and then also to investment skill.
Okay, so when you say financial literacy, it means our knowledge into what sort of platforms we can invest our money in,
Yeah.
and save, and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, like that is a financial inclusive.
Okay.
But financial literacy is more likely like understand how to manage debt, how to choose investment, how to manage cash flow, like that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like that whole if you make X amount, how
Right.
much of it should I put into
Yeah.
my
It's a basic thing,
investments, how much
basically,
should I- Yeah.
but make it advanced,
Well, yeah.
right?
And
it's a
hard-
basic
and to be disciplined.
knowledge,
Yeah.
but you have to make it advanced by, to understand the financial literacy. So,
True. Yeah,
can you
yeah.
share with us, or please elaborate to us, how crucial is financial literacy, especially for facing economic challenges in the future?
Yeah, financial literacy is very, very important. Yeah. For especially in people in rural area, and the kid in younger generation, because they can consume everything right now. But for me, financial literacy is also important emphasis in the who talks about that. Yeah, because nowadays everyone can be financial gurus.
Yeah.
True, you see it on social media all the time.
Yeah, the financial consultation industry itself and financial gurus itself have to be managed wisely by government regulated like that. So everyone who wants to learn can learn from the right people. Everyone who cannot learn, they can have access to learn right now in this technology.
But you mentioned like one of the challenges would be in rural areas. I mean, it would be great if everyone could have access to Finansialku, for example, and they can learn about it. But how would one be better literate, better in financial literacy? Because you don't learn about these things in school.
Yep.
and things like that. So if you're in a rural area, how do people in these sort of areas get better in financial literacy?
Yeah, of course, technology help us. Yeah. Like now, if we have like webinars and Instagram Live, so many technology can help us to reach to the rural area, and also the financial institution go to the rural area. That will help us to separate.
So basically, it's two-sided.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the effort needs to be taken not only from the people who lives in rural area,
Yes.
but also the institution or the person who knows better about the financial.
Yes, and the
situation.
financial literacy also have to be managed to be communicate in a fun way. In the entertainment, in the social media, and the influencer, they have to make it like in fun so people can observe easily.
It has to be engaging these days,
True,
right?
because it's so hard to think about financial.
If you get too complicated, then
terms
people
or
will lose
something.
interest, right? You have to
Exactly.
make it in a relatable and a fun and engaging
Not
way.
only we are going to lose interest, then we lose the chance to learn about something
Absolutely.
new, and then we lose our money.
No. Let's hope that
Because
doesn't
we are
happen.
spending
I know.
a lot.
I'm very literate when it comes to spending.
Oh yeah, I learned a lot from him. So, Shirley, are there any global financial trends currently impacting Indonesia, and that we need to prepare ourselves to manage better to achieve the goals of 2045?
Yeah, of course. Like foreign government policy, like the Fed rates, climate change, slowing down in the global economics, and then the political instability, trade wars like that, and then also in the high inflation.
Okay.
In global economics also impact to us market volatility and the slowing down growth.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about, when we talk about financial stability, a lot of it is based on our own mindset. So what are some of the common financial management mindsets that you consider problematic that could hinder the progress of our financial stability heading to Golden Indonesia 2020?
Okay, financial education starts in the family. So we should have a habit to communicate starting from the family.
Okay.
So
talking to our kids
talking
about it as
to our
adults.
kids, daily life, and then also we can start help them to see not only the short-term oriented, but also long-term oriented. Like you have to sacrifice your short-term pleasure rather than and then prepare the long-term investment, like if you're in retirement later on.
I have a question because I've noticed, and we've discussed this before. There's this trend with the younger generation lately. Like, we all agree that buying property is still a good investment. Yes,
Yeah.
It's always a great investment because then you own some property and then you can pass it down to your future generation. There's this worrying trend for me lately, and it goes. The simpler one would be like pay later. I'll just buy now and I'll pay it later. But there's also this other trend where it's like younger generations don't want to have long mortgages. They would rather I'll just rent because that way I won't be stuck and committed for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So do you see this sort of newer kind of mindset as problematic as well? Because then they're not really thinking too long into the future, are they? And why is this happening, do you think?
Actually, because of middle class pressure, I think the rent idea is more relevant like now.
Okay.
But in the long term, of course, property is still a good investment.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So for the younger people, it's okay to rent right now. But for the long-term mindset, they still have to earn own their own house.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that-
through
that-
mortgage is still okay.
I think there needs to be more education when it comes to this
True.
because a lot of people these days just feel, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 10, 15 years,
What-
so why would I
why
take
would
a
I-
mortgage for that long?
Exactly.
I'll just rent for now.
Right.
But then in 10 years' time, you won't have
And then you're
property,
stuck
you
to
won't have
that
asset.
area because you
Yeah.
love the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Something like that, right?
and you're paying your money to somebody else who owns the
Ooh,
property.
Yes. So, since we are speaking about families,
Mm-hmm.
literacy, how do you manage your financial situation at home, Paul? I mean, you have 3 kids,
Yes.
and how you know, like transferring the information about financial literacy to your kids?
Well, these days, like for example, our oldest is 9 years old. We give her an allowance,
Oh.
and her weekly allowance. Well, she's allowed to do what she wants with it. And she used to spend it like
Yeah.
really quickly all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But lately, she's decided, oh, can I have something from this online platform? And I'll say, well, you spent all your money already last week. I said, if you want to get something, so nowadays we have a system worked out with my daughter. I said, if you want something, it costs 50,000. You get 100,000 a week. I said, that means you give me your 50,000. You still have 50,000 remaining for your allowance,
Yeah.
and then you can shop online for something up to that amount.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. So it teaches them to, okay, I have a budget, I can break it down, I
Right.
can save some of it, I can spend some of it.
All
And if
right.
you want something more than 50,000, then maybe save up for 2 weeks. I'll keep your money,
okay.
I'll
Yeah,
keep a
yeah,
running count. So I think it's important to start at a really young age.
Yeah.
She's in grade school right
Yeah,
now, grade 4,
yeah.
and she's already starting to learn that, okay, I have a set budget that I have to work with. I want something more, I'll have to invest more time to save
Okay.
into.
Yeah.
But this sort of thing isn't really like,
Not every parent.
I don't think
doing
it's
it.
very common.
What about debt? Because now,
Yeah.
now, I mean, generations right now are familiar with the debt. You know, like you said, we have so many
Mortgage,
easy ways: mortgage,
car loan.
debt, pay later,
later.
credit cards, and everything. There's a lot of offers, and it seems very easy.
Yeah.
And the situation in families, sometimes families are struggling with debt.
Yeah.
And how can we instill healthy financial practices within families? And should we encourage kids to develop investment habits like Paul teach his daughter?
Yeah, teach them the calculation of interest debt.
interest debt.
Yeah,
Okay, how so? Give us
so
an example.
because if you pay your goods with debt, you pay more money, right, rather than in cash.
Yes.
So teach them how to calculate the interest, how much you pay more.
So you're going to take interest from your
I
daughter?
should.
Oh my
I would
God!
love it. I would make some money. It's my own money anyway.
Like in pay later, you pay 36% per year.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Like
More
for-
expensive, right?
How actually we taught our families about how, or teach our families, especially young generation, younger generation, about this? I mean, struggling with the debt. Debt is okay if you can be responsible to
yeah.
pay. So what about the situation, other situation that people are stuck to pay their debt?
I think it's very, very important to increasing our earning ability rather to decreasing our expenses or spending. There's a limitation to decrease our spending, right? But increasing our ability to earning money, no limit. So we have to have multiple source of income. So people have many creativity. People in Indonesia have many creativity,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't know, they don't understand how to utilize to earning more money. Like that.
That makes sense. By the way, I like that idea about teaching interest debt because my daughter asked if she could buy something at the mall the other day, and she said, "Can you give me an advance on my allowance?"
Oh, really?
So I gave her a 2-week advance, and I said I would take it I would take 50,000 one week and then 50,000 another week.
Okay.
I'm going to take 55,000 from her just to teach her. Hey, I get 10% interest.
I hope you don't see this show because your dad are trying to teach you something.
I am. This is a lesson, an important lesson, an expensive lesson. So let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the government's role. The government does have a role in helping its citizens. Now, what role do you think the government has to play in helping people achieve financial well-being? For example, you name one of them, and I think it's very important, which is online gambling, and the government is right now very active in tackling online gambling. What other things can the government do to help people in order to be more financially healthy? So to speak?
Okay, so we give them more financial education in our kids education program, and then block their access or make it harder to access maybe online gambling,
Yes.
online
Change
debt,
passwords.
yeah, pay later if
Yeah,
they
these
could.
easy loans that people
Yeah.
hand out on
Easy.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah, put certain criteria to for people to online debt, like, and then also we have to create possibility and access for people, maybe in rural area to earn more money, like financial education and also the education in overall.
Okay.
All right,
So basically,
well said.
it's a simple things that we can implement it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Don't borrow anything if you cannot return it.
Yes, I agree. Unless you absolutely have calculated, oh, if I'm going
Exactly.
to borrow something for 3 years, make sure that you have the foresight to know that you can pay it
and
back.
we have to be very harsh to ourselves regarding to this
Yeah.
because the situation, economic situation are challenging even now. I don't know about the future, but we have to prepare ourselves.
Agree. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
this morning.
Shirley. Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
Hey, 2045, it might seem like a long time away, but hey, 20
It's like a
years
blink
flies right
one
by.
away.
Agreed.
All right. We're set for a commercial break. When we return, we'll bring you the world of health lines.